Hello everyone and welcome back to Austin Plus, and today we are reviewing Star Wars The Mandalorian Grogu, and we've got a special guest. He usually is in all of our music videos talking about like music, but today he decided to hop on a Star Wars review, as we did go and see this film together, and It was a very good film. So, The Mandalorian and Grogu reunite once again on the big screen, this time rounding off the Mandalorian and Grogu saga. Or at least we think so. Star Wars presents The Mandalorian and Grogu, an amazing spectacle filled with many Star Wars callbacks and now new wonders. So, let's talk about it. So, usual criteria, start off with the best characters, and I think it goes without saying, The Mandalorian.
Yeah.
Mandalorian and Grogu, but The Mandalorian alone, I would say, is probably one of the... I think that they come as a package deal and they are the best, because he remains the definitive anchor of the story because of his journey, his gritty the gritty space western action type that this movie does present, and so does the series. I think it really does contribute to obviously the cuteness of Grogu. You have that dark father figure, and then you have the son.
Yeah, but also the mystery behind him, because he can't reveal himself and things like that and take his mask off. So it keeps that. Though in the film, spoiler alert, though in the film, it does the mask does get removed, but.
It's a review video, Dad.
But the thing is, other people might not have seen it and might look at the review.
Well, probably they shouldn't do that then.
There's your spoiler alert. But by taking his mask off, though it still keeps the mystery around the Mandalorian and the cult of going into like Boba Fett and things like that. So the cult thing of the Mandalorian still remains, and the mystery behind it still remains.
Yeah, I mean, as much as he revealed his mask about 50 times in the show.
Yeah, but the mystery. In the show, in the series. Yeah. But the mystery is still behind the Mandalorian.
Yeah, I think the Mandalorians are still people that are still not explored to the extent that they have been. They are probably the most important tribe or in clan cult, whatever you want to call them, in Star Wars, and the fact that they've managed to develop a show and then obviously a cinematic spectacle like this based on a single character, I think is brilliant. But I also think that he is changed from that Mandalorian and bounty hunter to that father figure to the likes of Grogu. His unwavering commitment to his creed, which is this is the way, not removing the mask, paired with his willingness to bend the rules for those that he loves, makes his character arc, I think, the most compelling in the film. Probably one of the most compelling in the whole of Star Wars, because I mean you can't compete with characters like Darth Vader or Anakin. You can't, but he is still very compelling.
Oh yeah.
Now the next character, as I said, comes as a package deal, is Grogu. Grogu continues to steal every scene with his just undeniable charm and cuteness through his immense growth and developing as a Jedi Mandalorian apprentice. Now, I think that's probably the most interesting combination. We've seen a Sith Mandalorian type apprentice or Sith Lord with the likes of Darth Maul. Now we have Grogu on the Jedi side of things, and I think that does really show a contrast. But Grogu, I think, has got so for someone who has very little words, does show a lot of character building.
But the problem, Grogu, he's the cuteness around him. But the problem I can't get past with Grogu is Yoda. Okay, he's a mini Yoda. Okay,
yes.
Yoda talks and all that lot, and I know Grogu's a junior or whatever, but
he's 50 years old.
He's 50 years old, blimey. Most kids at 5 years old can't stop and talking. So, and when you think Grogu was 50 years old, well, but. Yeah, okay, he's cuteness in that, and you can see him developing further. I'd like to see him develop further, but how far it's going to develop with the character, because everyone still thinks of Grogu as this little cute toy.
I think in the very first episode, I think they said that the very first episode of The Mandalorian, they said that the bounty that they were going after, which was Grogu, was apparently either 50 or 100. I keep on getting them confused. And they said, he's 100 years old. And when they found him, and obviously it was a cute little Yoda, is But Yoda's about 900 years old.
No, it was 400.
No, it was 900.
No, it was 400.
I don't think you're
No, it
right.
was 900.
I think it's 900.
It's 900, yeah.
Yeah, and I just wonder when the speech actually comes in. I've seen on TikTok or Instagram people comparing like what they think he's saying to like what he says in the show or what he says in the film, and then what it translates to. You can't understand him. You just can't.
When you think like that race saying, "Oh, slow developers," just saying.
We all
Talk
get
about dog years and cat years. Yoda years?
That's what we should bring for you.
No, I couldn't survive that long. Blimey.
The funniest thing is you could see that I noticed this when I've seen this film twice. I noticed this in the second time I watched it, and this is when I didn't have glasses. He has so much, like in the first episode, he doesn't have much hair. In the closer to the end of this film, he has so much hair at the top of it.
It grows as you get older.
Are you sure about that?
Okay. I think his evolving bond with the Mandalorian provides an emotional core for like the whole narrative, especially for this film. Like the film was based around 2 characters, and they managed to pull 3 seasons out of these 2 characters, and it just proved that both of their presence is vital to the heart of the franchise. There's no denying that.
And they done well, because usually you get a series and then it goes into film, and the film flops. It's nowhere near as a series keeps you watching, whereas when it moves into a film, it's like they try and do too much in a film because of the series. But this they didn't. I don't think they didn't. I think the film came across very well and as a good continuation of a popular series.
The thing is, it's a good continuation, but I can't tell if it's a continuation or a conclusion. I think it's a conclusion for The Mandalorian. I think it's a good conclusion, but I want to see that Yoda in a Mandalorian mask and using a lightsaber. Have you seen concept art for it?
You need a lot of room for those ears. Just saying.
Just does that every time.
If you do that, you wouldn't be able to see it.
Yeah. Now the next character. Now there wasn't many characters that you could probably grow a liking to in this film because they didn't have enough screen time. I will say that Mandalorian and Grogu did share most of the spotlight, but the character that I'm so happy was in this is Rot of the Hutt. Rot of the Hutt. For those who don't know, this is his second appearance in the whole canon of Star Wars. He appeared in the Clone Wars movie as Stinky the Huttler. He was that little baby who was who was being rescued. No, he was rescued by.
He was kidnapped originally and then rescued by the Jedi.
Have you seen the Clone Wars?
Mm-hmm. Of course I have. I've seen them all.
What?
Yeah,
You said you don't watch animated Star Wars?
Yeah, I've still watched Clone Wars.
Yes. I do think he's, as much as he is a legacy character in this, he has grown since his days obviously as Stinky, but his involvement in this film is such a fascinating dynamic to the galaxy's underworld politics with the likes of the Shikari, and his interaction with Mando and Grogu creates a perfect mix of high stakes tension, but also that classic Star Wars friendship world building that also elevates the entire adventure.
I must admit, I thought it was a little bit corny that he came across as a WWE wrestler.
Why?
I just thought it was a little bit corny, but yeah, it did work. It did work, because when you think in Return of the Jedi, the Jabba the Hutt was just something that sat there on a throne.
They still do.
Yeah, well, they still do. But it was the Hutt was something that just sat there on a throne, just eating live frogs and pushing people around. But then, if you watch the remastered Star Wars, okay, he does appear in the remastered Star Wars. Yep, if you watch the remastered Star Wars, Jabba the Hutt appears in it.
I'm trying to figure out which Star Wars you're talking about.
The New Hope.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, he appears in that. But it wasn't until the Return of the Jedi and then the remastered Star Wars that the Hutt became a lot of character. It was just like sat on the skiff barge and.
Do you know if Jabba the Hutt was actually a person to start with?
Big person then.
Yeah, so.
It's more like a worm.
That's just not nice. But, the first ever Star Wars, it was obviously A New Hope, and they're standing outside of the Han Solo ship after they've just come from probably the cantina.
Yeah.
And it shows it was released 3 times in theaters, and the very first one, it was literally just a really big person talking to Han Solo. The next one looked like they'd put Play-Doh on the screen with eyes, and then the third one looked like the Jabba the Hutt you see in Return of the Jedi. So they really did evolve the Hutts, and obviously now they're very big characters in the definitive characters in Star Wars now.
Yeah.
But I do think the idea of Rotta the Hutt being the big character as the he's the child that didn't want to follow his parents. He wanted to do his own thing. I think is a great message, and also he was right in the end. The people that were looking for him wanted to kill him.
Yeah.
Right, now on to the best moments. I only chose 4 because as much as I like this film, none of them really compared to this. So the first one is and I actually think these are in order. No, they're not. They're not in order. Is the Shikari pit battle with Rotta and the Mandalorian. So the Shikari battle, or the pit battle, stands out because it basically forces a very unexpected alliance between the Mandalorian and Rotta the Hutt in a very claustrophobic, dangerous environment. I'm going to say that arena was no bigger than our house.
Yeah, it wasn't a big arena, but if you look at I don't know if people noticed, but some of the monsters in it were
Someone's made that comparison online.
It actually appeared in a previous film, but not as the physical characters.
It was a hologram in is it like the Star Wars chess?
Yeah, it was a Star Wars chess on the Millennium Falcon.
New Hope?
Yeah, when R2-D2 was playing Chewbacca at the chess.
Yeah, and the big guy with the hammer. He looked like just a big blob. Was one of them.
Yeah.
He pointed that out to me in the cinema. He tried to tell me the first time, and I didn't know who he was talking about because they all looked disgusting.
Yeah.
But as he told me, I was like, oh yeah. And then I saw it online. I was like, oh, he was right.
And also the snake in the pit as well, underground pit, is actually in A New Hope as well.
I bet you Marcus wouldn't know that.
It was in the it was a form of that one in the trash compactor. The dragged along.
Really?
Yeah.
How would it?
Because you could tell by the markings on the snake. Same. Yeah, the markings on the snake was the same as that.
I'm going to take your word for it. I'm surprised you know
memory,
this.
Long memory.
Right, 20 minutes, I think, before this recording, he said, I don't even know if I remember this. This is all coming out of him now. I don't...
Do remember it now.
But I do think that alliance did set up, I think, a great storyline for both Rotta the Hutt and Mando. It creates a very thrilling contrast in fighting styles because Rotta the Hutt were... Yeah, here's something I want to talk about. When they first introduced Rotta the Hutt as the champion, he laid back on someone and killed them.
Yeah.
Did that to Mandalorian, he was just like, alright, I'll get back up.
Yeah, it's that suit though, isn't it? It's a super suit.
Suit or no suit, that man's gonna crush you.
Yeah, he's a big lad.
I don't think that's that's just one continuity error I think was a bit iffy. The next thing is there's a 20-minute, I would say, sequence of Grogu by himself. So when the Mandalorian's supposed death, I genuinely thought they were going to kill him off.
No.
I genuinely thought that, and I thought if that's the case, that's a great conclusion, but they didn't. But that 20-minute sequence of Grogu being by himself following after the supposed death provides the film with one of probably the most devastating and emotionally raw narratives in. You can't really compare it. See, when I think of emotion and devastation in terms of Star Wars, I think Obi-Wan and Anakin. Nothing will compare to that. That's the problem. And I think the dialogue between of Grogu by himself is limiting, shall we say. His obviously his eventual decision to stand tall and tap into his inner strengths and obviously try and save his adoptive father, I think is a very good turning point in his maturity as a character.
Because I think up until then, and also in the series, he was a main character, but he wasn't the main character because the Mandalorian was doing all the dialect.
What was one of the scenes that you guys? He'll take he'll like have a water or something. It was he's one of those biscuits that he has. I think they're from Navario, the planet of the Mandalorians. But he goes, he'll have those biscuits, and he just looks up and goes, "I don't want that," because he can't talk. But yeah, that maturity, I think the whole idea about him talking is, yes, he can't talk, but you can still understand him, and to do that with a character like that is funny. But those people that Grogu loves, but they hate him, what are they called? Do you know?
No, I can't remember.
They're basically like mechs. They help the Mandalorian like fix his ship, and he tries to hug them, and he goes, "Bad baby, horrible baby." They're so funny. And to think they're all animatronics is mental. Now, the scene that Dad was sort of correlating to earlier was when they remove the Mandalorian's helmet when they realized that they didn't like give Rotta the Hutt up. And the heavy symbolic weight, as he said, of the Mandalorian helmet removal is, I think, perfectly contrasted by the chaotic danger of the snake. Basically he felt like he was nothing against that snake until he put that mask on and just went, "Yeah, I'm just gonna stab you."
It seems to be like a secret power when he puts on the helmet. It's like a shield of steel, It's like it gives him superpowers when he's got that helmet, but when he's without it, he hasn't got those powers.
Well, hang on, Darth Vader can't breathe. That is the thing.
There is that. But
it might be a power.
You'd be a bit cooked if you'd fallen in molten lava as well. Just saying.
Yeah, you're probably right. I think showing Din Djarin's face of pure vulnerability and humanity. When they took that mask off, you could see his eyes. That acting, by the way, I think is so hard to not say anything and just use your face. His face went. You could tell he was genuinely ashamed. But the thing is, in the other times of the show, at the very first time when he's in that bar and it gets blown up and his helmet ends up coming off, he's like, "All right, I was in battle, it's fine." But then during that scene when someone took it off not willingly, but forced it off of him, he was like,
yeah. But the thing is, it's because it wasn't in battle. It's a dishonor.
Yeah,
okay,
true.
It's a dishonor. It's a symbol of his cult. Mm-hmm. So if you take that off, you take away his honor. So we had to do something about it. And by take out the Hutt or whatever eventually, another spoiler alert, taking out the Hutt and that because they'd seen his face. It's to regain his honour at the end of the day. It's a symbol. It's a symbol of his beliefs and his religion, if you want to call it a religion.
Yeah, I mean, obviously you have the Sith and the Jedi, and I honestly believe that the Mandalorians is one of them. They are their own thing. And that I stand more with the Mandalorians than the Jedi or Sith, if I'm being completely honest.
Yeah, the Mandalorian was with Jabba the Hutt and sorry, not Jabba the Hutt, but Boba Fett and the other guy, I can't remember. Jango Fett. They were never put in a good light, were they? In those two films, because he was a bounty hunter and worked for the Hutts, Boba Fett,
Yes.
Okay? And then the other guy was basically a mercenary that they used him. He used him as a clone to develop the clone army. So they were never. It would never put in a very good. The Mandalorians were never put in a good light in those two instances. Where it puts them in the cult in a totally different light, doesn't it?
But the thing is, the Boba Fett and Jango Fett aren't actually Mandalorians, though. They just used Mandalorian armor, or Beskar, shall we say?
Do you? Well, weren't they?
No, but
No.
were they
Yeah, they were Mandalorians. Because they had the suits. You
no,
can't
but-
get the suits.
yes,
unless-
you can.
They can't have the suits unless they're a Mandalorian. Now, the book of Boba Fett. He wasn't. You're right. He wasn't originally a Mandalorian, was he?
No, he was. He said he stole the
The armor, basically.
the armor from a Mandalorian that landed on Tatooine and he killed him or something like
Yeah.
that.
Or one ear or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. So now, as he was talking about the dragon snake, it kind of leads into what I want to talk about next. It's the final battle, and it's the final best moment when that dragon snake eats both of them huts. I think he's had a fair enough meal for I think at least a decade.
Yeah, you wouldn't need dessert after that, would you?
God no.
You had a 3-course meal in one.
The funniest thing is when they showed that dragon snake go down, you could see the big bulges in his when he'd swallowed them.
Yeah. I'm digesting that one.
Oh god, I don't want to think about that if I'm being honest.
Indigestion, if you ask me.
And I love how Embo, the bounty hunter, by the way, again from Clone Wars, the fact that they've got so many people from Clone Wars in this, I think is brilliant. But the Embo, the fact that he just went, yeah, see you later. I'm not getting involved with that. I've done my job.
He'd done his job.
Yeah.
He was done. He was not getting involved in any more of that.
Yeah, I'm not being eaten by that thing.
Yeah.
But I am actually glad that we've got rid of the Hutt twins because they were annoying me. I didn't like them characters. Now, the one thing I want to talk about, and I did kind of talk about it earlier, is the future of the Mandalorian and Grogu. Because they did have a triumphant win in this, and many people were under the impression that this would be the final, this would be the final battle and the final thing for this, for them, both of them. But Grogu is still young. I do think this would have been a good end for the Mandalorian, so when they killed him, I wouldn't have been surprised. I was like, that makes sense. But Grogu obviously still has a lot. But have you seen Ahsoka?
Yes.
You have?
I have seen Ahsoka, yes.
He's surprising me.
And the Acolyte. The only one I haven't seen is Andor.
Yeah, I haven't watched Andor yet.
Yeah.
So wait, have you seen Maul yet then?
Sorry?
Maul.
No, I've just started watching that.
Is it good?
It's okay. It's okay. Again, it's cartoony, and I'm not overstruck on cartoonies. The reason I watched the Clone Wars is because it was very early on, after the Star Wars and that, so it was one of the earlier ones. But I haven't watched like the Bad Batch, or anything like that. So yeah.
Disgraceful. And but so you know how Grand Admiral Thrawn was like the big bad of Ahsoka.
Yeah.
So in Ahsoka, Ahsoka, the live-action version, was actually revealed in Mandalorian Season 2. That's how the Ahsoka live-action series came to light. And it was under the impression that the Mandalorian and Ahsoka would team up. And I do think there may be a chance for the Mandalorian to return in Ahsoka Season 2, which is said to release next year in January. I do believe. But also, talking about Grogu, I think his path as a Jedi-Mandalorian hybrid definitely ensures that both, that he will try and continue mastering the Force and obviously the Mandalorian culture, which obviously will mean a mask at some point. Now, the other character is Ross of the Hutt. While his future is officially set down a path towards like the New Republic, he does obviously have a power over the criminal syndicates now, like the Shadow Collective, on what planet is it that the Hutts live on?
Can't remember.
Cheers. So the plan, obviously, he has a lot of. He will have control there by blood, but he might also work with the New Republic. So it is still undetermined as of now. Thoughts on the future for both of these, for all of these characters?
I think there will be another Mandalorian. Whether Grogu's in it, I don't know, but I think there will definitely be a continuation for the Mandalorian. And I think there could be a separation between the Mandalorian and Grogu in films or whatever.
You really?
Yeah, I reckon there could be. But I don't know about the Rotter the Hutt. I think that's got a limited legs, really. Or lack of limited legs. Sorry.
I was thinking of the exact same joke.
Yeah. In the days of Worm. So
just a really big one.
I just think he's got limited traction on that one.
Fair enough. Now, on to my least favourite part of all of these videos, which makes me question why I do them at all, which is the other people's reviews. So, for those who don't know, this was directed by Jon Favreau. I love him. But The Independent said that director Jon Favreau and co-writer Dave Filoni, who actually does make a cameo in this film, have been tethered to the small screen for so long that they have lost nearly all sense of cinematic scale and pace.
Should look like.
Have tethered to the small screens for so long that they have lost nearly all sense of. They're saying they don't know how to show it on a big screen.
Rubbish.
Bullshit.
Rubbish.
The Guardian said that the film is watchable and barrels along capably enough on a spectacular IMAX scale, but it relies heavily on familiar narratives, tropes, and lacks the deeper humanity that makes the franchise so lovable.
Yeah, but don't forget, all these are subjective. Okay, they're probably not big Star Wars fans.
That's not then why watch it?
But they're independent, aren't they? So I don't think they may not have the love of the franchise as other people would do.
Yeah. And then Plugged In said this feels like a spin-off adventure rather than a solid plot moving towards a moving addition to Star Wars lore. It's fun, fan service, but lacks head. I give up. I give up.
The Star Wars franchise, don't forget, originally it was 3 films, and you waited so long between the 3 films. I certainly did. Okay, but now with modern technology, CGI, digitization, and that, films can be produced a lot quicker. Okay, and
true.
And you've got to keep people. You've got to keep people interested, and it's for the next generation. Don't forget, the original film was in the 70s, right? 77. I was 6 years old. I'm now 54. So it's keeping people interested throughout the generations.
Yeah. I think, you are. Nothing will beat the originals, I think, except for Revenge of the Sith. I'll always say Revenge of the Sith is the best Star Wars film.
But it is. I would still go back and watch the original Star Wars films.
If I would love to see them appear in theater again.
Yeah. I'd go and see them in IMAX.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Like mixing old classics with modern technology is probably the best thing you could do.
Yeah.
So comparing this whole film to the television show, I would say when Mandalorian came out, it was obviously a mission of the week type thing, because every episode was different, and every episode was something different every week. But this film, it had layers to it. It had so many layers that I definitely think it competed with at least one season of Mandalorian, because it had a lot going on, and it's something that they would split up.
A bit like Shrek, an onion.
Onions have layers. I saw your eyes light up here, and I just
had to get that in there. Shrek, one of my favourite films.
Yeah, go and watch Shrek 5, the official teaser trailer reaction on this very channel.
I don't know about 5.
Hey,
we digress. We digress.
Toy Story 5.
No.
It's okay. We'll move on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do think this definitely holds up to the same comparison as the show. There's no doubt in my mind about that.
Yeah, I think it does. I think it is a continuation.
So, overall reviews, fantastic. I know I say fantastic, like brilliant, or basically in every film, but this one truly hit home. There is, I often enough go and watch films again, but recently I don't. This one I was like, do I do this or do I go and watch this film again? I went and chose to watch this film again. It's brilliant. It's really good. There's such emotional core. And it's encouraged me to go and watch the Mandalorian series again. It is just fantastic, brilliant, every adjective you can think of.
Yeah, it was. I did enjoy it. I did come out of there and I did enjoy it, and say I'd be tempted to go and see it again, or watch it when it comes on the screen or whatever. Small screen.
It'll be one of those things I just put on every single time. It's like the F1 film. And there you have it. The Mandalorian and Grogu was an amazing film, and all I'm saying is that Star Wars is damn bad. We had Maul, and now we have Mandalorian. What else are we getting at? But without further ado, folks, that is the end of today's video. I do hope you all enjoyed it, and if you did, please leave a like and subscribe and comment what else you would like to see on the channel. And thank you to my dad for joining. Thank you for all of the input you gave.
Thank you very much.
You knew a lot more than I thought you did.
Enjoyable as usual.
Yeah. But I hope you have an amazing day as always, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Yeah.